brought to you by the Every Dollar app. Start budgeting for free today. Live from the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, it's The Ramsey Show, where we help people build wealth, do work that they love, and create actual amazing relationships. I'm Dave Ramsey, your host. George Kamel, Ramsey personality, #1 best-selling author of the book Breaking Free from Broke, and co-host of the Smart Money Happy Hour, Ramsey Network production. He's my co-host here. Open phones at 888-825-5225. Kristen's in Austin, Texas. Hey, Kristen, how are you?
I'm doing great. Thank you.
Good. How can we help?
Well, I have a very close son of mine who has done a lot of good work as an electrician, doesn't have a lot of debt, but he is asking about tax lien investing. I guess his goal is obviously to make some more money, but also to get into real estate, I guess a little easier in a way, but I just kind of wanted to know your take on tax lien investment.
Okay. He's asking you about it?
Well, so he's telling me what he's thinking about doing.
Okay.
How old is he?
He's 24.
Okay. All right. This falls in, I can explain to you what it is and how it works, and I'm happy to do that especially for the benefit of our audience. But let me tell you where he found it. He found it on TikTok with the get rich quick, easy, nothing down real estate people. Okay?
Probably.
That's where he found it. Because that's the only place anybody talks about this subject.
And they do it to get clicks and views because it sounds amazing and it sounds too good to be true.
Or buy their course for $3,000 on how to get rich buying foreclosure real estate and doing tax liens. Okay?
Right.
And by the way, this is the same exact line they used. Wait a minute. Kristen, how old are you?
I am 43.
Okay. You're barely old enough to remember infomercials. You remember those?
I do.
Okay. It's the same line they were using back then. The only difference now is it's cool because it's on TikTok. Okay? Mm-hmm. And it's on Instagram and it's on whatever. But it's still the same genre of stuff. Can you buy a piece of real estate at foreclosure at a bargain? Yes. I used to do it for a living in my 20s. And I bought a lot of real estate since then that was distressed in one way or another at a deal. It is, however, one property out of 200. We consider 200 properties to buy one. Okay? It's not like I walked out my back door and the sun came out and I looked over there and there was a foreclosure and I bought it. It is actual hard work, expertise, needle in a haystack. Okay? Can you buy tax liens and turn them into real estate and into profit? Yes. The likelihood of your 24-year-old doing it is really close to zero. It's really complicated. It only works in a couple of states. Here's the way it works. Some states will sell, if someone's behind on their property taxes, the state or the municipality, the local village or city takes a lien on the property for back property taxes. They sell that to someone in some states. My state, they do not do that. You can't buy tax liens in Tennessee, okay? But so if I lived in Tennessee, I'd have to be buying them somewhere other than where I live. Problem number one.
Okay.
Problem number two is you're buying a tax lien. Okay, now let's say that you foreclosed on the tax lien and the people that own the property do not pay off the tax lien and you end up with the property. The property is worth $250,000 and they have a $270,000 mortgage.
Okay.
You know what you got? Nothing, honey.
Right.
Nothing. You got a $250,000 property with a $270,000 lien on it. You don't want that. It has no value. Okay? Right. So you would have to find a property tax lien that is delinquent on a property that actually has equity. Oh, now we've really made this difficult. Oh, and wait a minute. Almost all of these states with property tax liens have a 2-year or a 1-year right of redemption. Now, let's take us a step further. You find a piece of property, needle in a haystack, that actually doesn't have a lien on it. Probably not in your state of Texas. I'm pretty sure Texas does not sell them. And so then you actually buy this $250,000 property. Maybe it's only got a $100,000 mortgage on it. Now, you've got $150,000 in equity, but you got to pay the $100,000 mortgage to keep the property that you just became the owner of, or they'll foreclose on you. Follow me?
Oh, wow. Okay.
This is a problem.
Yes.
And then on top of that, you become the owner of it, but the old guy that didn't pay his taxes has 1 year or 2 years to come back and redeem it by paying the taxes plus 10% or 15% interest. So you can do absolutely nothing with that property except pay this mortgage payment for the next 1.5 to 2 years, and you're 24 years old. This is suicide.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Can it be done? Yeah, you need a real pile of money, a lot of patience, a lot of expertise, and the ability to do a lot of work to actually find this needle in a haystack. And so can you do it? I've actually bought 2 of these in my life. I've owned about 2,000 pieces of real estate in my life, and I have actually bought 2 of these. And as you can tell, I've done it. I know how it works. It's a freaking nightmare. I'm not buying one ever again.
Haven't done it since.
No, thank you. Too much trouble.
I
Too
did
much
look
risk,
it up, Dave.
Too much time frame. I hope I explained it well enough that it didn't sound like a barrel on a fish hooks, George.
So Texas has redeemable tax deeds, so it's different than, you're right, you can't buy tax liens, but you can get these redeemable tax deeds, and you're right, there's a redemption period, they can come back.
Okay, so
the
I was
house
wrong.
is
They
probably
do
in
sell
disrepair.
them. They do sell the deed then. Okay.
So it's a little different.
But it
with the
does not
redeemable tax
clean
deed.
the title, people. Meaning if there's a mortgage on it, it stays there. Property tax foreclosures in 0 states clean the title. If a first mortgage forecloses, the second and third mortgage are now wiped out. It cleans the title. You get a clean title. If you buy a foreclosure in a second mortgage position, you inherit the first mortgage. If you buy a property at a tax lien sale or create a tax lien sale, you inherit all the mortgages, including the IRS liens from the goober who also didn't pay his IRS taxes because he didn't pay his property taxes. You think these things might walk hand in hand? You can bet they do.
I'm guessing the house could be in disrepair as well.
Yeah, I think.
On
Yeah,
top
we
of the
haven't
legal
paid any of our
complications.
taxes or our mortgages, and we're so far behind that. And then I'm going to sit there and maintain the house, pay all these bills for 2 years, and then he can come back and redeem the thing for 10 cents over what I paid for it. No, thank you.
And if this was a money-making scheme, there's going to be banks, hedge fund managers, real estate investors with deep pockets going after these.
No,
So you've got some competition.
It's been going on for years. People, I will say again, it is possible to go down this rabbit hole and get out with a handful of money. But it's
Juice ain't worth the squeeze.
It's
as
a
they say.
24-year-old got on TikTok and thought he found a way to make easy money. And I'm just here to say, no. You'd be better off delivering pizza. You'd end up with more. This is The Ramsey Show.
This show is sponsored by BetterHelp. All right, we all know I'm a pretty big nerd. I love learning new things. And it's one of the reasons why I spent most of my adult life in a classroom, either as a student, a graduate student, or a professor. So the flurry of activity this time of year around kids going back to school, it reminds me of my love for learning. And even if school wasn't your thing, I guarantee you there are things that you loved learning about over the years. Gardening, hunting, medicine, Shakespeare, and if we're honest, most of us love learning about new things, anything, except about ourselves. This fall, I want to challenge you. Become curious about yourself. Why do you react the way you do? Why do you get so angry when this happens? Why do you feel the way you do? Therapy is an amazing place to learn more about you. It helps you regain your sense of curiosity, wonder, and excitement about yourself and the world. And if you're considering therapy, I want you to call my friends at BetterHelp. BetterHelp is 100% online therapy staffed with licensed therapists. You can talk with your therapist anywhere, so it's convenient for just about any schedule. You fill out a brief online survey and you'll get matched with a therapist, and you can change therapists at any time for no extra charge. Let's be curious about ourselves this year. Visit betterhelp.com/Ramsey Radio to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/Ramsey Radio.
George Kamel, Ramsey Personalities, my co-host today. Ryan is in Grand Rapids. Hi, Ryan. How are you?
Good. How are you guys?
Better than we deserve. What's up?
So I'm about to graduate with my bachelor's in computer networking, and I'm just looking to figure out how if I'm good enough to get married or get engaged. I have about $3,000 in savings. I'm about $25,000 in debt. So is she. And I make about $800 a week for right now, but I do have a job lined up after. I don't know the exact pay, but I know it'll be above $60,000.
A job lined up after what?
After I graduate.
When are you graduating again?
December.
Okay. When are you thinking about getting married?
This winter, hopefully.
After December?
Engaged. After December, I plan on maybe early either January or February for the engagement, and then August for the actual ceremony.
So by then you will have been working 8 months at a $60,000 job, and you have a $25,000 debt.
Correct. And I just didn't know if I should start attacking the debt first before I buy a ring, or do I wait until I have the ring and then start working through all of the debt?
Well, how long have you guys been dating?
A year and a half.
Okay.
Our year and a half was yesterday.
Have you guys talked about marriage at all?
A lot, yeah.
What's her financial situation?
She is a CNA, and she works there, and she has an apartment. She also is about $20,000 in debt, and then she plans on going to community college in the winter to go for nursing.
Okay. So what is your all's plan and view of debt and budgeting going forward if you're married?
We both listen a lot to you, and my parents are also use your way to get out of debt with their small business and stuff. So we know the right way to do it. It's just about when do we start going through those steps. Do we get married first, or do we do it individually and then get married? And we know we both have the same philosophy of combine everything. It's us, it's us, it's us, not you and me.
Well, each of you would be doing the baby steps on your own, and then as soon as you're married, we combine finances and we attack it together. And it usually goes faster at that point.
Okay.
So if you wanted to say, I'm not going to pay off the debt, I'm going to save up to get a ring, we're going to save up and cash flow the wedding, and then we're going to attack this debt together, you could do that.
As long as you're aligned on the belief and where you're going, that's all that matters. I don't care how broke you are when you get married.
Okay.
What I care about is where you're headed, not where you are. Okay. Now, if you're broke and and she's planning to get broker, or you're planning to get broker, I think I'm going to make $800 for the rest of my life. I'm going to be her dad and tell her not to marry you. Yeah. Until you get up off your butt and go earn some money. But you got a good job lined up. You're graduating. She's got a career move lined up. We're going to knock out this combined $20,000 worth of debt with a combined $100,000 household income next year. When you're married, I think that's a wonderful thing. So, obviously, the ring doesn't need to be anything super fancy, but
you can always upgrade later.
Yeah, well, I did. Yeah, Sharon married me with a speck. It was so small it was unmeasurable. No, it was actually a .23 carat, which means you needed a magnifying glass to find the freaking thing. We set it in the safe the other day and thought we lost it. It just disappeared. It's that small. It's
the one she has now, I've seen it. It's blinging.
It's a headlight now, Yeah, but that's 40 years later and one bankruptcy later. So she gets whatever she wants now. But yeah, you can get married. By the way, there is zero research on the size of the ring as a correlation to the quality and constancy of the marriage, the success of the marriage. As a matter of fact, there might be an inverse correlation. So
I thought I saw that with how much you spend on the wedding. Like
Same
if you spend an inordinate amount on the wedding, could hurt the chances. There's
same
something
thing.
there.
It's an inordinate amount on the ring, same thing.
Oof.
But there's no actual data on it. It's just but lots of people got married with very inexpensive weddings and very inexpensive rings and have a long, wonderful life together. Barbara's in Atlantic City. Hey, Barbara, how are you?
I'm good, Dave. How are you?
Better than I deserve. What's up?
Thanks for taking the call.
Sure.
Okay. I recently got engaged. We're an older couple, and my fiance has a home in a shore town. He's had it for about 30 years, but he has a reverse mortgage on it. I saw the paperwork, and he owed, I guess it said that the total for the reverse mortgage right now is about $386,000. That was in July.
Good Lord.
Well, I'm not done. I know he was in a lot of credit card debt, but someone's helping him get out of that. I saw him right in front of me cut up one of his credit cards. He works 4 days a week. He just got taken down to 2 days a week, and he's upset and anxious and nervous. And I think in New Jersey, when we were to get married, it's half. I'm a little nervous, excuse me. Everything's half. Credit cards, I guess, this home equity. But see, the thing is that being in a short town, if he was to sell the house, he would get over $1 million for it, so he could get out of the reverse mortgage. But he'd have to move, and he doesn't want to do that. So he's trying to reverse the reverse mortgage now. So my question is should I walk ahead into this thing? I'm a Christian, he's a Christian, and I'm just not sure if we should hold off on the wedding, or I would like to sit down with someone, the two of us, some realtor, mortgage person that I know, rather than go with, he had already gone with somebody who I never heard of, and I think they're not even accessible, you get them through the phone or something like that. You're so quiet.
Well, what is it you're wanting to accomplish here? I'm confused.
Well, I love this man, and I would like to see us spend the rest of our lives together.
Okay. It sounds like to me that he has a pattern of financial irresponsibility and not working much. How old is he?
75.
Okay. Well, that's understandable then that he's not working a lot. He's past retirement age, so to speak. And how is he, if he took out a $300,000 traditional mortgage to pay off the reverse mortgage on this property, how is he going to pay the payment?
Well, I think that's what he's upset about now, is because he just lost 2 days out of the 4 days that he's worked. And, of course, he has Social Security.
If he's working those 4 days, how would he pay that payment?
Through that and Social Security.
So he's making plenty of money in the 4 days.
I don't think so.
Do you know what he makes? What does he do for work?
He works at a furniture store, a seashore furniture store.
So you're talking about a $4,000 a month house payment here.
He's going to lose the house. So I think he wants to keep it and he doesn't want to sell it. He has to sell it. He's broke and 75.
Mm-hmm.
So you're going to be signing up for some of this money stress, and you can choose to do that. I don't think he's going to be able to pay this thing off with his income in his lifetime.
I don't want to do that. I don't want to, I just
when
don't.
you get married, you're signing up for all of his problems, and he's signing up for your problems.
Not legally, but morally. You're not.
Well, I've been
your name's not on the mortgage.
20 years I've been walking with you and following you, and I own my own home, and I have an IRA, and I don't have any credit card debt. I mean, I'm not.
So if you got married and you moved into your house and sold his house, what's wrong with that?
He he doesn't want to do that. He doesn't
I know he doesn't want to do that, but he can't pay the payment. He doesn't have the money to pay.
Half a block from the shore.
I don't care if he's in the corner of the Empire State Building. He can't pay the payment. He doesn't. Nothing being on the shore magically creates money into your hand to pay the monthly payment. You have to pay the monthly payment, or you have to get rid of the property. And so, yeah, this reverse mortgage just bit him in the butt now. That's what it amounts to.
You don't get to reverse the reverse mortgage. It doesn't work like that.
The only way you reverse it is you pay payments. Go get a new mortgage and pay that one off with the old one, refinance it, and then you've got a $3,000 or $4,000 a month house payment that he can't pay. That has to be solved for both of your sake. This is The Ramsey Show. I've been doing this show for over 30 years, and some of the saddest calls I've taken are from situations that are completely preventable.
Yeah, and what's so hard is I feel like one of those, especially the ones that I'm like, oh, it's terrible, are people that call in and their spouse has passed away suddenly and they don't have life insurance. We actually took a question of a lady and she had 3 kids, pregnant, and husband didn't have life insurance. And I'm like, I can't even imagine. Or even if it was opposite, right? If a mom passed away, there's a dad with kids and trying to figure out, how am I going to afford childcare? How do I outsource some stuff that maybe she was doing? And it just takes the grief and the sadness of something like a sudden death to a whole new level. Like when you have to think through, how am I going to pay my bills?
How am I going to eat next week?
Yeah, in the middle of all that grief. Like it's terrible. And so life insurance is the one thing, especially as a mom with 3 little kids, that I'm like so big on for people to get because it's inexpensive. Xander is the place that Winston and I actually get all of our life insurance. And we keep re-upping it because I'm like, I just want it there. Like there's something about that safety of knowing that you have money if something suddenly happens.
And it doesn't cost much because Xander shops among a gazillion different companies. It doesn't cost much. You just have to admit that someday you're not going to be here. You got to say it out loud, and you got to say, I'm going to say I love you to my family by taking care of them and taking the time to put this stuff in place. It costs us stinking pizza.
There really is. So that is one thing to do, to say I love you to your family.
So we've used Xander for all of our family's needs for insurance for many years, including, of course, term life insurance. To get a free quote, go to 800-356-4282. That's 800-356-4282, or go to Xander.com. Thank you for joining us, America. So glad you're with us. George Kamel, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today. We're so glad you're here. Hey, we're going on the Live Like No One Else cruise, setting sail March 22nd through the 29th. Over 90-something% of our cabins are full, but we have a couple left. If you want to come, you can still get a suite on the, get a stateroom on the Holland America's, one of their newest ships, and it is a premium Caribbean cruise. Only going to be Ramsey people on the entire ship. Turks and Caicos, Puerto Rico, St. Thomas, the Bahamas. All of our Ramsey personalities, all 7 of us, will be on there all week long. And my wife Sharon will be with us the whole week. And Stephen Curtis Chapman, comedian Trey Kennedy. Now, this is a big deal. Trey Kennedy's like big deal. World-class chef from the Food Channel, Manit Chauhan. She's also a big deal. And by the way, Stephen Curtis Chapman's a big deal. And so is Dina Carter. And they're all going to be there, and others, all week long. So it's our friends are coming to hang out with our friends. It's a good thing. RamseySolutions.com/cruise. Check it out. Josh is in Greenville, South Carolina. Hi, Josh. How are you?
Doing good. How are you, Mr. Ramsey?
Better than we deserve, man. What's up?
Well, I'll keep it brief. So me and my wife are actually in about $20K worth of debt. And we weren't in this shape last year, but circumstances kind of changed for us. And we've got 3 credit cards. 2 have pretty high interest on them. And we have a car that we bought when we actually had a little bit of money. We paid cash for. And my question was, do we sell the car to pay off those 2 high interest rates cards and then turn around and then throw everything extra at that other card. It has no interest on it, and it's a low payment.
Okay, so wait a minute. You were debt-free, and then you ran up $20,000 on credit cards.
Yes, sir.
And now you want to sell the car that's paid for that has no payment in order to knock out some of the cards.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Why do you believe the stupid has left your house?
Well, I'll put it this way. I'm a Christian, born again, and I had to repent of my money mismanagement, along with some other things. Loving my wife like Christ loves the church, being one of the others. I've kind of got a hold on that one, or at least I'm putting forth the effort, not just saying I'm trying now. And I truly, in my heart, do not want to go back to where we were last year.
What did you spend this money on, man?
Well, we sold our house. We had got it under a previous administration for a very low price. Obviously, administration changed, and we were able to make profit after the mortgage and everything, about $90,000, and debt-free with $90,000 in our savings account. And through pretty much taking that, well, it wasn't $90K debt-free.
Josh, what did you spend $20,000 on with credit cards?
So we live in a rental, and we pay rent by pretty much working on it.
What do you spend on the credit cards?
Well, about $8,000 of it was home redecoration and
there
home
we go.
redoing.
Okay.
On a house you don't own.
Exactly. And then the rest of it was dumb decisions.
And what happened to the $90K in profit?
There ain't anything here that's been a smart decision. What was the dumb decision?
Well, pretty much everything that we spent that money on was dumb. And the bad thing is I've been a listener for
Okay, here's why we're asking. Let me stop. Here's why we're asking this, hon. If you don't stop what puts you into the credit card debt and you sell the car, you'll repeat the pattern. So,
right.
Yeah, so I need the two of you as a couple to go through Financial Peace University. We're going to pay for it so that you guys really get a handle on doing a budget together and not spending any money that you don't have. And please don't ever spend money to fix up someone else's house. Ever again.
I agree.
Ever again. There is no situation that makes sense. None whatsoever. And
I agree.
And so, and anything we're going to buy from this point forward, we're going to pay for it. Now, what's your household income?
Currently, we make about $3,500
a month.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And so only one of you is working.
My wife works part-time. She works mornings, and then...
Do you have children?
I watch... Yes, sir. We have an 18-month-old and have another on the way.
Good for you. That's exciting. Okay. Sounds like you need to work on your income side of the equation too, don't you?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
I'm actually trying to get 2 part-time jobs as well. One for the morning before my work, or my wife's work, and before mine, and then one in the evening as well.
Good for you.
Those applications are pending.
That's a good start. And then we need to say, okay, what are we going to do that makes me $60,000, $70,000, $80,000 a year? How are we going to move into that in the next year and a half to 2 years so we don't work part-times the rest of our life to survive?
Right.
Okay. And I think you take your side hustles right now and you pay off the $20,000 and you keep the car.
Yeah, paying, getting rid of the car, it's not freeing up a payment. And so all you're doing is leaving yourself without a car, without changing behavior.
Exactly. So you hang on. We'll have the team pick up and get you signed up for Financial Peace University and the Every Dollar Premium, both as our gift. Now, the two of you as a couple sit down and work on that, and that's going to tell you I got to work on my income and I've got to work on my outgo. We don't buy anything else we can't afford. Because here's the sad story I think I just heard. We sold a house, made a bunch of profit, and now we have pissed it all away. That's what I just heard. And so now with a brand new baby, we get to start again. And when we had $100,000 in our pocket earlier, 90 anyway. So, yeah, the car is not your problem, honey. Your income's your problem. Your lack of management is your problem. And you're like a dog I used to have. You don't have an off button for spending. This dog would eat itself into oblivion. I mean, if you put food out, it would get so fat. It was just, it did not have an off button for food. It just eat and eat and eat.
Well, there's
And
no
some people
discipline
that way with spending. You just spend and spend. Oh, now we can't do it anymore. Look at that. And now we got to sell the card.
credit card looks like unlimited food to the dog.
Exactly. That's exactly
We'll
right.
just keep racking it up.
Doesn't have an off button. It will run your butt up into debt. I mean, it'll act like you're in Congress or something. That's what's going on there. Madison's in Boise. Hi, Madison. Welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Hi. Thanks for having me.
Sure. How can we help?
Okay, so I'm recently divorced after 14 and a half years.
I'm sorry.
We have, thank you. Long time coming, but it sucks, obviously. 3 boys, 10, 8, and 6, and I have 50-50 custody. So basically, we've been trying to sell the home, and both moved in. I moved into a rental home, and he moved into an apartment, and it's been for sale for almost 2 months, and it may end up in foreclosure. We both don't want a foreclosure on our record, and technically, I guess foreclosure, we could end up having to file for bankruptcy or something like that, and my ex doesn't want to do that because it'll ruin his business, and I don't want to deal with that either.
What do you owe on the house?
$512,000 for the first loan and $27,000 on the second loan.
What's it on the market for?
$540, the lowest.
Just enough to get out, huh?
Yeah, we would probably have to put $5,000 to $10,000 to
What do you
actually
make?
even close on it. Right now, okay, so when we got the home, I was making over $110,000, and now I don't know. I've been dealing with a lot of mental, emotional stuff, and I don't have a stable. I went from a full-time job to working from home, doing my own bookkeeping.
What were you doing at the full-time job?
I was controller, then I was financial accountant, and I was just way overworked and burnt out and couldn't handle it anymore. So I wanted to go back to working from home. And if I was to guess, if I was caught up on everything and not behind, I'm probably making $4,000 to $5,000 right now. But I have multiple monthly. But I have multiple clients that I could start in October.
What does your
November.
husband make?
I have no idea what he makes.
How far behind are you on the house?
2 months.
The second mortgage won't foreclose. The first will. The second mortgage will then come after you as an unsecured note. You're going to be bankrupt, but you're going to have more problems on top of this if you guys don't get the house sold. That is where you are. So I suggest both of you make all you can make and make these payments till you can get this thing sold. It's going to be a bigger mess if you don't handle it. Sorry.
So what does the future hold for business? Nobody really knows. If you ask 9 experts, you're going to get 10 answers. Are the robots going to replace us all, or will AI usher in a whole new world of work? But because there's no such thing as a crystal ball, more than 38,000 businesses have future-proofed themselves with NetSuite by Oracle, the #1 cloud enterprise resource planning system. NetSuite brings accounting, financial management, inventory, and HR into one fluid platform. With one unified business management suite, there's one source of truth, giving you the visibility and control you need to make quick decisions. Real-time insights and forecasting help you see into the future with actionable data. And when you're closing the books in days, not weeks, you're spending less time looking backward and more time focusing on what's next. Ramsey Solutions uses NetSuite, and you should too. Download the CFO's Guide to AI and Machine Learning at netsuite.com/Ramsey. The guide is free to you at netsuite.com/Ramsey. That's netsuite.com/Ramsey.
Our question of the day is brought to you by Why Refi. I'll get it out in a minute. Politicians make a lot of promises, and sometimes they might even keep 1 or 2 of them. Yeah. But if you're in over your head with private student loans, you can't and shouldn't rely on the government because they're private student loans. Contact Why Refi. They refinance defaulted private student loans, and they give you a low fixed rate loan built for you. You can actually be current and stay current and get it paid off. Go to yrefi.com/Ramsey. That's the letter Y, REFY.com/Ramsey. Might not be in all states.
Today's question comes from Ian in Maryland. The Federal Reserve cut interest rates recently. How long will it take for people to see any real impact from that decision? Also, my high-yield savings account is paying me over 5%. Should I expect to see that rate to start coming down? In your opinion, which rate is more important to the economy? The rate we pay to borrow money or the rate we get paid for saving money? A few layers in this question. Let's start with the first one. How long will it take for people to see any real impact from the Fed rate cuts? Well, it depends on the type of debt. Mortgages are going to take longer to be affected. It's not a direct relationship, whereas things with variable rates, credit cards, student loans, car loans will be impacted sooner rather than later.
Mm-hmm. Well, my experience is credit cards don't move at all. They charge $1 bazillion in interest, and they will continue to charge exactly $1 bazillion in interest, 18, 22, 24, 28%, whatever it is. And they don't move that up or down based on the Fed rate. The Fed rate is what banks borrow money from other banks at. It's the wholesale banking rate. Okay? So if your bank is paying less to borrow money from another bank, then they don't have to charge you as much interest on the debt that they are issuing. So local bank or bank debt, credit cards are not affected at all. Maybe home equity loans might see a little movement. Maybe car loans might see a little movement. As George said, mortgage interest rates are not determined by the Fed at all. They're determined by the bond market. Now, they generally follow the Fed, but they're not directly connected in any way. It's just trending, prevailing interest rates is all that drives that. And so a 0.5 point drop by the Fed 45 days before a national presidential election, which basically does nothing, is what I'm saying. It's not going to affect your high-yield savings account probably at all.
I think we're seeing
half a point.
Yeah, it goes from 5 to 4.8.
If it goes from 5 to 2, yeah, your high-yield savings account is going to go back down where it was when things were 2, right? But right now, you're not going to see. All it was is it's just great and interesting political timing. When the economy is like probably the number one political issue, whether the candidates realize it or not. It's not some of the other stuff they're talking about. It's the economy. We know because we're talking to you. And you tell us all the time. The things I'm concerned about, they're not talking about up there. I'm concerned about $5 gas, $5 eggs, and 7% mortgage rates. That's what I'm concerned about. And so this one thing, this move right here is actually touching on the number one item in the political landscape today. Very difficult to find in history a troubled economy reelecting a party to the White House. They usually get booted from the White House. They get their little eviction notice by a bad economy. Either side. Republicans are in, bad economy, Democrats come in. Vice versa, right? We see it happen all.
Is that the old saying, people vote with their wallet?
They do.
What affects them and their house?
They do. So that's what this move is about. And so the actual truth is, Ian, it's not going to make a lot of difference in anything you're seeing. Number one, it's only a 0.5 point. Your high-yield savings account will follow it because when your bank is paying you to save money with them, they are borrowing money from you at 5%. If they can borrow money from another bank at 2%, they're not going to pay you 5% anymore. So when the prevailing Fed rate goes down lower than your high-yield savings account substantially, they're not going to borrow money from you anymore because they can borrow it from somebody else wholesale cheaper. But right now, the Fed rate is fairly close to your high-yield savings account, even with the 0.5 point drop, so they're probably not going to monkey with it much. But when you're saving money in a bank, remember, what you're doing is you're loaning money to the bank at that interest rate. And that helps you tell why they're willing to pay that interest rate. And because they're borrowing money, and they can then loan back out approximately 12x whatever their deposits are, according to FDIC guidelines. And so if you put $1,000 in there, if you loan them $1,000 at 5%, that allows them to loan other people $12,000.
At higher interest.
At 7% on
They're
the
making
car loan.
profit.
On the car loan. And they make the spread on that. And that's exactly how banking works. It's really not much more complicated than that. Vernon is with us in Lexington. Hi, Vernon. How are you?
Not too bad. How are you, Dave?
Better than we deserve, sir. How can we help?
So, I'm a single dad struggling to put food on the table for my kids. I don't have any credit card debt.
Good.
I do have a auto loan that I'm majorly upside down on. I've got about $4,000 in medical debt. And probably the most embarrassing one is I haven't filed any taxes in the past. This coming season will be 3 years. I just have not had the money to file them. And I'm tired of living paycheck to paycheck. Ends are not meeting. I make about $80,000 a year. I should not be this broke. I need some help.
Okay. When were you divorced?
About 6 years ago.
Okay. And you've never really taken control of your whole life since then. It's all kind of just happened to you.
Yeah, I've never been taught how to manage finances. I don't know anything about it.
Yeah, but what you described to me was you've been coasting.
Yes, just
today you took a step to try to figure out how to fix it, but you've been coasting.
Yes, $0 in the bank before every paycheck.
Yeah, and $80,000, you ought to have some money, shouldn't you? Yeah, you should.
Yes.
Are you self-employed?
I don't know. I work as a 1099 contractor.
Yeah, okay. That's what I meant, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so, well, the first thing we do is we get on a written game plan called a budget. And we make every dollar that comes in behave. And starting this month, you're going to set aside 25% of every dollar that comes in to pay your taxes. So if you get a $1,000 check, you're going to take $250 and put it in a savings account to pay your quarterly estimates on your taxes. And then you're going to do a budget with the remaining $750 per $1,000. Follow me?
Okay.
You're going to make every dollar behave, and you're going to withhold on yourself because you have no money in the bank to pay 3 years' worth of taxes. This is a problem.
Right.
And I'm guessing you're going to have somewhere around $60,000, $80,000 in taxes on these 3 years. You've been making $80 a year of those 3 years?
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, okay. So you probably got, $60,000 going to be owed plus penalties.
Right.
Okay. So now, here, you have a tremendous responsibility as a single dad. That people do not get put in jail in America for not paying their taxes. They do get put in jail for not filing them. So you have 24 hours, my friend, to get at RamseySolutions.com and click on Tax ELP, Endorsed Local Provider, for someone in your area to sit down and you get those taxes filed. I don't want you led away in bracelets that connect. I hope I'm scaring you. 2,571 people went to jail last year for failure to file. It is a law. It's a criminal law. Not paying is different. You can get away with not paying. You can't get away with not filing. Get your freaking taxes filed now. And then get on a budget, and we'll walk you through the rest of this. Hang on. We'll also send you a copy of Total Money Makeover and help you with the money part of this. You got to get on this, buddy. Before we get to the next caller, I got some good news for you. Even when this portion of today's show runs out of time, there's still plenty more for you to tune into. Just head on over to the Ramsey Network app to finish today's show for free, right there on the home screen. And If you don't have the app, just search Ramsey Network in the App Store, Google Play Store, or click the link in the show notes for an easy download. You never know what call's coming up next, so finish today's episode in the Ramsey Network app today. Brought to you by the EveryDollar app. Start budgeting for free today. Live from the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, it's The Ramsey Show, where we help people build wealth, do work that they love, and create actual amazing relationships. George Kamel, Ramsey personality, #1 best-selling author of the book Breaking Free from Broke. He's my co-host today, and also the host of The George Kamel Show on the Ramsey Network. You'll see him on YouTube. Be sure and check it out. Open phones here at 888-825-5225. Nancy's in Mobile, Alabama. Hi, Nancy. How are you?
I'm good. How are you guys?
Better than I deserve. What's up?
Okay, so long story short, I'm going to make it quick. My husband and I are in our early 40s. We did things a little bit backwards, but we're debt-free now. We have about a total of 220 or so in 401ks. However, about 125 or so is in old 401ks from old jobs. What is it, or when is it good to roll those into Roth so that we don't end up paying taxes on growth and required minimum distributions when we get to that point?
Oh, you're asking
that
a
125
really
will end up being
question.
$1 million.
This is a great question. Really smart. You're on top of it, kiddo. Way to go. So when you said debt-free, do you mean your house?
No. I wish.
Household income's what?
About 130.
Okay. All right. So the original question, when do I roll a IRA or a 401k, an old 401k, you can't touch a current 401k, into a
Correct.
Roth and create the tax bill. So we move $100,000 over there, we create a tax bill of $25,000. Okay. Now, if you take the $25,000 out of the IRA and therefore only end up with $75,000 in the 100, 25 goes out for taxes and out of 100, right? And you leave
Correct.
75 in there. The 75 will only grow. It's a break even. The 100 would have grown to enough to pay your taxes, although you'd had the RMDs. So you shouldn't have done that one. So you don't take it out of the actual account to pay the taxes. Number one, you would move it only when you have the cash extra to pay it out of your pocket, pay the taxes out of your pocket. That has the mathematical effect of actually investing an additional $25,000 per 100. You follow me?
Okay.
So if I move the 100 over and don't reduce it, now it's growing tax-free, but I got to pay $25,000 in taxes out of my own pocket over here to the side. You follow me?
Correct.
So you got to have that cash, number one. Number two, you need to have been debt-free on your house before you do that, because it's more important that your house is debt-free than that everything's in Roths. But you'll get there pretty soon.
Okay, I think that was the question. My husband's a mathematician, so he runs the numbers.
Good.
And so he was, but neither one of us grew up with any financial literacy, so we are kind of new to real financial literacy.
Okay.
And so we're trying to that's where I think the thing was, at what priority does that make it? Do we just let it sit for now?
Well, this is not a completely a math problem. It's more of a data response. Okay? When we study millionaires, we find that the first $1 to $5 million of net worth that they have comes from their retirement savings and a paid-for house. So we typically run into somebody with 49 years old. They got $1.8 million in net worth, and $600 or $700 of that's their house, and $700 or $800 of it is a retirement account. You follow me? Which is kind of where you'll be at 50.
Okay.
That's about where you'll be.
What's left on the mortgage?
Which is just about 170.
Yeah, so you're going to be out of that. It'll be gone. Few years, you'll have it knocked out. So the element that's what the profile of the typical person that gets the first $1 to $5 million in net worth looks like is that. So I want to take you there first, and then, yes, you get all the benefits of having all of your accounts. Then when you got extra, you got no debt and nothing to do left but to invest, well, paying the taxes on a rollover has the same mathematical effect of having invested. So we'll do the rollovers. So like, for instance, today I've been in baby step 7 for 30-something years. And so I don't have anything but Roths now.
So now you're just trying to optimize the wealth.
Exactly. Exactly.
It's a different phase.
Like, you know, when you get to my age at 65 or something, I'm 64, 100% of my retirement is in Roths. So that does a couple of things. One is, not only is it growing completely tax-free, and say I live to be 84, that money's going to be, it's going to double like 4 more times if I don't touch it, all tax-free. That's pretty cool. I have no required minimum distributions at 72 and a half now.
Because the government already got their taxes.
Roths don't have required minimum distributions, only traditional. So I don't have to start pulling money out of my account unless I want to. Oh, and here's the cool part that I didn't even think about when I did all of it, but now I'm getting into it a little bit. When you have an inherited IRA, you have to pay all the taxes on the inherited traditional IRA or 401k in 10 years under the new Secure Act.
So grandma leaves you $1 million.
Then you got to pay all the taxes on that, the income tax, not inheritance tax, but the income tax on it within 10 years. So you've got to start, you got to start pulling it out and paying taxes on it. Guess what my heirs have to pay on the Roth?
0.
Ding, ding, ding. So they're going to inherit Roth IRAs tax-free that are going to continue to grow infinitely tax-free.
Cool.
Hypothetically, if the laws don't change at all, my grandkids could inherit my Roth IRAs.
Wow.
Can you imagine what they would be worth by then?
They might be the first trillionaires.
Can you imagine what those IRAs would be worth by then? All growing without the stinking government's hands on it. I mean, I didn't even think about how awesome that was. I just thought I don't have to pay any taxes. But now I'm going to leave tens of millions of dollars completely tax-free that they are not required to withdraw. And by the way, they don't need any money. They're in all good shape. So they can just sit there and watch the stinking thing compound tax-free, maybe even a whole nother generation. That would be super cool.
That's a cool ripple effect.
Because inherited IRAs, regardless of whether they come from your mommy, your daddy, your grandpa, doesn't matter where it came from. Inherited IRAs that are Roth have 0 taxes. This is stinking cool mathematically. You math people, you're going to love that one.
Yeah, your grandkids will love the inheritance. They'll love you even more when it's tax-free. I'm just saying.
Yeah, it's one thing to get $1 million from grandpa. It's another one to get $1 million tax-free from grandpa. That's just different right there. I'm just saying.
That's generational wealth.
A godly man leaves an inheritance to his children's children. Why are we doing this? We want to change our family tree. Somebody had to be old man Vanderbilt. Somebody had to be old man Rockefeller. Somebody had to do it. It might as well be you. You can do it. So when she asks a question like that, that's wwhy I think she's awesome.
Well, you're thinking so far.
She's a hero, man.
And I guess that means you're old man Ramsey. Based on your own logic.
Hey.
Not my words.
Hey, you had to twist this to something ugly, didn't you?
The history books will reveal. He'll be up there. It'll be Vanderbilt, then Ramsey.
You need to get me a Commodore hat.
I can see you with a monocle later in life. You should consider a monocle.
Commodore Ramsey, a monocle. Yeah, I need a ship.
You'll be so rich. You only need one.
If I'm gonna be a Commodore, I'll need a ship. This is the Ramsey Show.
Hey guys, it's Rachel Cruise here to tell you about a faith-based alternative to health insurance that can make healthcare more affordable. Christian Healthcare Ministries. CHM allows members to share each other's healthcare costs, and it's as easy as 1, 2, 3. Step 1, choose the healthcare provider you want. Step 2, submit your eligible bills. And Step 3, get reimbursed. CHM members take care of your eligible medical bills. With no networks and the freedom to choose your healthcare provider, CHM is the best option for Christians who want to take care of their families and help other believers. Find out more at chministries.org/budget.
George Kamel, Ramsey Personalities. My co-host Liam is with us in Salt Lake City. Hi, Liam. How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you guys?
Better than I deserve. What's up?
So my wife started her business earlier this year, and I wanted to ask if there was some things that we should be trying to help get the business off the ground. So far, we've only done 2 online orders and about 10 in-person orders. We've been doing everything from social media to in-person interactions, and we were just wondering how we can help get that business going.
What is she selling?
So we're doing a lot of her artwork that she does, and also some customized like vacation T-shirts or family reunion stuff.
Is this an Etsy shop?
Shopify.
Shopify. Okay. Has she tried Etsy?
She did look at Etsy, but I think Shopify looked a little bit better to her based on what they offered, price per month and assistance in helping getting the website set up.
Okay. I say that only because you want to sell your products where your audience is at. And I've only heard people going to Etsy for these vacation type T-shirts, and artwork might be a different story depending on what kind of art she's making. There might be a local community where she gets her start, but it's not a business where it's instantaneous money starts to rain down from the heavens.
Yes, I was aware of that. I was just wondering what we should be trying to help get to that point.
What kind of artwork?
It's just mostly stuff that she does on a whim. It's a lot of artwork based off of books and movies, and then she does commission artwork as well.
So is this more in the kind of pop culture world? If she went to, let's say, forums where people love this movie or this book, I imagine that would be a better audience than a random Shopify store, hoping people see it.
Yes, I imagine that would be a good place to start.
Yeah, let's find some Reddit pages. Let's find some Facebook pages where people are gathering as groups around those types of things. Okay. Yeah, I think you've got to find. This is not something you can throw a broad net on and get a good response, get a good return on investment with your marketing dollar. It's going to have to be very targeted, and so we're always asking ourselves where are the people. Where's the customer? Where do they live? What are they on? How can we reach them? Where are they? And what's the demographic? And like George said, if there's a group of people discussing that movie somewhere, and you drop an offering about that movie in the middle of those people, well, that's pretty much like Piranha. That's perfect, right? But if you drop it into the general public, 98% of which never heard of that movie, you just lost all your money, your marketing dollars. And so very targeted, very specific communities that you're diving into. I don't know other than that, because the problem with podcasts or social media is that it's now infinitely large. There's somewhere around 2 million podcasts, and something like 26 million Instagram accounts or something? Mm-hmm. I mean, it's just in terms of people trying to do business that way. It's not so. You're lost in a sea of nothingness out there in those worlds.
Has she found people who are crushing it in this exact space?
I believe she has, yes.
I would study them, follow them, befriend them, figure out what they're doing, and try to replicate it.
Yeah, look at best practices there. That's a really good suggestion.
If there's an Etsy shop that's doing 1,000 sales a month.
Yeah, but there's
doing the same thing.
lot of T-shirts. I mean, how many millions of people
You're in a
got a
saturated
T-shirt on
market.
Etsy? Oh, my God.
If you're going to Disney and you want, the Camel Family Disney Vacation, well, I got a lot of options when it comes to who makes that shirt.
A whole lot.
Including myself. I can go to Canva and make one and get the Walmart, iron on and do it myself. So you've got to have some unique value proposition to go, here's why mine is better, or my artwork is that much better. I personalize it in this way. So it's going to take time to stand out, and she's going to have to do a lot of research and get involved in a lot of different groups to try to kind of infiltrate and say, I have a great product.
You ordered family vacation T-shirts?
I have not.
Oh.
I'm not the type. Let me just say that. I'm not the target demo for vacation
Well, I'm not,
themed
because
T-shirts.
I didn't even know it was a thing. So there you go.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
just,
Well, you've seen our debt-free screamers. They get the matching T-shirts. A lot of them get them from these, Etsy places. They make it
okay.
themselves.
That's where that came from.
And so, this, I think it's the crafty mom target demographic. That's who you need to find.
Okay.
I guess I'm not going to give Dave the matching T-shirt I made him. This is awkward now.
Yeah, that's good, George. I'm glad we got that settled. Open phones at 888-825-5225. Joe is with us in Louisville. Hey, Joe, what's up?
No, how about you guys?
Better than we deserve, man. How can I help?
So I got asked a question yesterday about taking over ownership or taking over the payments on the family farm. However, in my current financial state right now, I don't know if it'd be a good idea or if it'd even be plausible. And I'm not sure where to go with it.
Okay. The family farm, your parents have it?
Yeah, it's in my mom's name, and her health has been going downhill for the last several years.
What do you do for a living?
And so I was in logistics, and I found out that I was back in an application process for the police force. So I jumped out of the logistics probably a little too soon. So I'm actually in between jobs right now because I didn't want to be out on the road if law enforcement decided that they wanted to pursue or go on with the application process.
All right, logistics had you on the road. You were driving truck?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you call that logistics. Okay. All right, so you quit your truck driving job because you're hoping the police department comes through.
Yes, sir. I have several different applications out with different police departments.
What are you doing for income right now?
How are you eating?
I was relying on my savings. Now I'm working on doing applications around town and trying to be home for when they go on with the process.
Okay. And your mom owes how much on the family farm?
It's right around $40,000.
Okay. All right. Are you going to move there?
No, I'm not going to move there. I already own part of the property there, free and clear. And all I was going to do is, take over where the house is and some of the other
do you
property.
rent your home or have a mortgage on your home?
I rent. Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. And so you're going to start paying her payments?
Either start paying her payments or she's going to make the payments through me. She wants it over in my name in case she has to go to long-term care. And I'm not sure that's a good idea, to be honest, but I don't know for sure. I need outside information.
Yeah.
How much debt do you have personally?
Right close to $100,000.
What kind of debt is that if you don't have a mortgage?
So I was looking to start my own trucking business, and I bought a truck and a trailer that are up for sale now, along with some other stuff that I'm working on selling. And
so the truck that you quit driving was yours?
Yes, yes. Sir.
Can you not just start driving it again until you get the police job?
I could. I'm looking for some local stuff, yeah, but everything I'm seeing is all either going to be out for 3 or 4 nights or.
Well, I mean, they don't give you like 3 days notice on a police application. They give you like 30 days notice.
Right, but one of these is for the state police.
Yeah,
and they do random home visits. They randomly show up, and
you're supposed to be sitting at home 24/7?
No, not necessarily sitting at home, but be relatively close where they can have essentially an in-person interview right close. They can come to you real quick.
don't buy this whole process.
No, I don't
Something's
either.
fishy.
I think you need to get back on the road and get to making some money. Okay, no, you do not need to take over your mom's debt because, no, it will not help her with long-term care. Okay? You can, if you move property to hide it so that you appear poor to get welfare nursing home care called Medicaid, they have a 5-year look back, and they will undo anything that happened 5 years before. And if they think you did it even before that, fraudulently for the sole purpose of getting free care from the government when you actually had the money with your property to pay for it, they'll undo it whenever they want to undo it under the heading of fraud. So don't do it. Your home is probably the biggest purchase you'll ever make. And with the real estate market like it is now, you'll need a mortgage company you can trust. That's Churchill Mortgage. You guys, buying a home is not a button push. It's a process. It takes building a relationship with an expert who will dig into the details and give you peace of mind without busting your budget. Churchill is one of the highest rated lenders in the country. And they're Ramsey trusted because they do what's right for you. Go to churchillmortgage.com to get started. George Kamel, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today in the lobby of Ramsey Solutions on the debt-free stage. Matthias and Sierra are with us. Hey, guys, how are you?
Better than we deserve, Dave.
Love it, man. Where do y'all live?
Wild Lakes, Minnesota, just north of the Twin Cities.
Very cool. Good for you guys. So how much debt have you paid off?
We paid off $308,000.
$308. How long did that take?
4 years and 11 months.
4 years and 11 months. And your range of income during that time?
$155,000 to $190,000.
Wow. What do y'all do for a living?
We're both physical therapists.
Oh, okay. Wow. PT. Excellent.
Yes.
So was the whole 308 your student loans?
Basically, with a sprinkle of medical debt in there.
Wow.
It was,
ouch.
Yes, ouch.
It was terrible.
How long have y'all been married?
6 years.
How long you been out of school?
6 years.
There we go. And almost 5 years of that has been spent cleaning up the student loans.
Yes.
So you had one fun year of marriage so far. That's great.
And a great vacation to Nashville to do a debt-free stream.
So you had the honeymoon phase of a year, and then you woke up one day, 4 years, 11 months ago, and said, we got to clean this up. What happened?
Tell us what happened.
Oh, we're just looking at this debt. We had a minimum payment of $3,200 a month.
For 10 years.
Yeah, for 10 years. And it was freaking us out. And one of my friends who was like, hey, we're taking this financial peace course. And I'm like, oh my gosh, this is heavily on my mind. And so we took the course, and I was dead set, and I had to snowball my wife into it a little bit. Then the snowball,
took me a little
the
longer.
dead snowball.
Did you not go to the course with him?
I did, but I was kind of against budgeting at first.
Okay.
It felt very restrictive to be on a budget.
So it's $308,000.
Exactly. It was, well, which one do I want?
Yeah, which of these painful things do I want?
Yes.
So how far into financial peace were you before you said I'm on board? Sierra?
Oh, well, it took about a year before I was like, okay, I get what we're doing and why we're doing this.
Okay.
And so then I was like, okay, we're just going to go hard.
Game on.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. Good for you.
So you made more than that $3,200 minimum payment. You put extra at this. Because it would have taken 10 years, you said.
Yes.
You stuck to the plan.
$6,000 to $7,000.
Yeah, you must have doubled
the
payment.
Yeah.
To do it in 5 years, under 5 years. That's amazing.
Yeah. Way to go.
So you guys were like living on very little. Even though you were making great money, you were still living like you were broke college kids.
Well, we lived in his parents' basement.
There it is.
That whole time. So shout out to them for allowing that.
And are you gone now?
Yes.
We are out.
Yes.
It's beautiful.
That's got to feel good. That's got to feel as good as being debt free.
Yes.
It kind of feels like this is the honeymoon now.
Yes,
it was just delayed.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, that's incredible. And how old are you two now?
I'm 32.
And 31.
All right. And tell people what you think the secret to getting out of debt is.
Well, one of the big secrets, I don't know, for me, is just like, so we're Christians, and just like the Bible says, to be renewing your mind with Scripture every day, to remind yourself, of the purpose of your life and day-to-day actions. I think that same principle can be applied to this, getting out of debt as well, and just kind of renewing your mind, I think, through the show or reading your books or things like that. So you're constantly reminding yourself, why are we doing this, instead of inputting other things like from TikTok or wherever.
I like that. Make sure your inputs are coming from good sources that are actually improving your life.
Right.
Wow. What was the why? What was your why? Your big motivator that drove you so hard?
We couldn't do anything with that. With that minimum payment, we just couldn't do anything. So we were like,
freedom.
Yeah, freedom. Yeah.
I want out.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. Wow. Well, if there's a 25-year-old that's got $300,000 in student loan debt out there, talk to them. What should they? Can they do it, and what should they do?
Oh, they can do it. It's just going to take a lot of dedication, a lot of ignoring what your friends are doing, and ignoring the things you want to do as well. But knowing that there's better things in the future.
We always said, sad now, happy later.
Live like no one else, so later you can live and give like no one else. I love it.
Delayed gratification.
Yeah.
You guys did that. You lived on way less than you made. Because, if you're making $10,000 and you're throwing $7,000 at the debt and you're trying to pay all your bills with the rest, you guys really sacrificed. But it's gone now.
Yes.
The rest of your friends, they're on the 10, 20-year plan, and you guys are free in your early 30s.
It feels amazing. Now we're thinking, what should we be doing with our mortgage payment, with the money? Should we be rolling it into that? What should we be doing now?
I'm used to living on nothing, so there we go.
You take that same $7,000 and chuck it at the mortgage, you'll be completely debt-free, house and everything in no time.
Yeah, that's a little intense. We might lighten up a little off of that. Yeah.
These two seem like the intense type.
Yeah.
If I lived in my parents' basement for more than a month, I might just go crazy. So that's impressive.
It's impressive for everybody involved. Well done, y'all. Very well done. Proud of you. Excellent work. Very, very good stuff. All right, Matthias and Sierra from Minneapolis. Man, this is incredible. What a great story. $308,000 paid off in 4 years and 11 months, making $155 to $190. Count it down. Let's hear a debt-free scream.
3, 2, 1. We're debt-free!
That's an incredible, very smart, very wise, beyond their years young couple. I wonder these days, there's so much in our face about how bad student loan debt has gotten. We're up to about $1.8 trillion now, as you know. And when we did Borrowed Future, I think it was $1.4 trillion or something like that when we did that documentary a couple of years ago on student loan debt. But I wonder, because I'm convinced that 98% of the people that sign up for student loan debt have no idea what the flip they're doing. And they look up, get married, and they go, I got $150,000 in student loan debt. Oh, wait, so do you. We've got $300,000 in student loan debt. Oh, my God.
And it's more than a mortgage payment just to make that minimum student loan payment. You're talking $3,200. If you told an 18-year-old that, they'd go, never mind, I don't want to sign.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, because they don't, number one, we think about us. We don't think about getting married. And when you get married, you double it. Rachel was talking about, she was at a Christian college speaking, and a little couple came up and said they wanted to be missionaries. And they got $180,000 in student loan debt. And she said, you're kidding. Oh, wait. Each of them.
Oh, my goodness.
Had $180,000. She's like, you're not going to Africa.
Yeah.
You're going to be working.
You can't make that payment on missionary money.
You no. Oh, my goodness.
So it holds back your dreams. We're seeing the stats that people are delaying home ownership, they're delaying marriage, they're delaying having kids, all because of student loans.
Yeah, parents, teach your kids to choose a school you can afford. Teach your kids to go into a field. At least the good news about these two heroes is they went into a field where they could earn some money because they're earning, almost $100 apiece here, which that helped the story considerably. And they woke up, saw it, and to their credit said, okay, instead of reacting like a victim to this, we're going to react like a victor, and we're going to get in attack mode, and we're going to knock this out.
That's powerful. And we've got a parting gift for them we didn't mention, but we got 2 Every Dollar Premium subscriptions for you guys, good for a year apiece. You can use those. You can gift them to someone else because that budget really is the key. It's amazing when you go, we make $200,000. Where is it going? Well, the budget shows you the reality of those numbers, and then you go, hey, our bills are actually like $3,000. We could throw the other 7 at these debts, and what would that do? That could get us debt free in half the time, and that creates some hope and momentum.
It's exactly what it did. 4 years and 11 months.
Wow.
Way to go, guys. Excellent, excellent work. So that's the the moral of the story is know what you're signing up for. And if you find yourself and you wake up and you have that oh crap moment, which is kind of where they found themselves after graduation, then you go, what are we going to do? We're getting in attack mode. And gazelle intensity.
They were willing to do anything.
Run!
Living in the parents' basement. That's the equivalent of run in this case.
That's hardcore. That's hardcore. For 5 years. Woo! This is the Ramsey Show. You've been gazelle intense, you've eaten more beans and rice than you knew existed, and now you're ready to make your biggest investment better. Blinds.com is a great way to dress up a room or your entire home. Whether you're comfortable with do-it-yourself projects or you don't even know what a Phillips head screwdriver is, well, trust Blinds.com to take care of you like Ramsey would. You can do the measuring and installation yourself, or you can let Blinds.com's professionals handle everything for you. Blinds.com offers a completely hassle-free experience. Count on them to deliver stylish window treatments from premium brands without the premium markup. You'll never have to deal with pushy salespeople in your home just to get a quote. But you can count on free shipping, free samples, and a 100% satisfaction guarantee so that you can rest easy. That's why we've recommended Blinds.com for over 10 years. Shop Blinds.com right now and get up to 45% off. That's Blinds.com. Rules and restrictions may apply. George Kamel, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today. Open phones at 888-825-5225. Effie is with us in Houston, Texas. Hi, Effie. How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
Better than we deserve. What's up?
I was calling. So the last 2 years I've been coming out of postpartum depression. I had a couple credit cards that I let go because I was also not working and I couldn't pay them. My husband and me, we do finances separately. I know a lot of your listeners, they might be doing things together, but me and my husband have always done things separately. Okay. So his debt is his debt, my debt is my debt.
That's wrong. That's wrong. You shouldn't do that.
And I don't disagree with you, but getting my husband on board for anything is always very difficult. So
it's
but I have 2 credit cards that I could not pay while I wasn't working. And one of them in particular has been sent to a lawyer, and they're knocking on my door.
They're serving you with lawsuit papers.
Exactly.
Yeah,
so
sure
I have, our debt is considerable considering we have a rental house. We have our primary
How much
residence.
credit card debt do you have that we're talking about?
The credit cards that I'm most concerned about, it's about $20,000.
Okay.
It might
What
be
does
a
your
little
husband
less
make
than
and what do
20K.
you make?
So I just started working again. I'll probably be making anywhere from 70 to 100. But it's not 100 isn't guaranteed. It's bonus.
Gotcha.
And then
And what does he make?
About the same.
Okay. And how much other debt do you all have in the house?
How much other debt other than the house?
Do you have no? Yeah, other than that, do you have more car debt, and does he have other debt that he has in his name, or what?
Yeah, well, it's his name. Like he has his credit cards. I have my credit cards.
I know.
But we
I heard
have
that. Yeah.
cars. So cars together with the credit card, with his credit card, or well, if I was to combine both of them, it's 12. 13 cars are $1,300 a month. I know that's bad.
What's the total loan amount?
Total loan amount for
Your car and his car.
My car and his car is $11.30 a month.
No, I'm saying the total loan amount. Is it $50,000 left on this loan?
Oh, no. We both have about $20,000 left on the cars.
Okay, so you're around $100,000 in debt as a couple, not counting your house, and you make somewhere around $200,000 a year as a couple.
That's about right.
And you have rental with a mortgage on it.
Yes.
Okay, all right. And you're how old, hon?
38.
And you have a baby. And do you have other children?
A 7-year-old.
Okay. All right. And you've just come through 2 years of really tough postpartum.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. All right. You're the same age as my daughter, who has 3 kids. Okay. I think what your husband is doing to you is abusive.
That's hard to hear.
Yeah. As your dad, I don't appreciate it, the way he's treating my daughter. I'm pretty pissed at him right now.
Ooh.
He makes a baby. His wife is in postpartum, and his answer to it is go figure it out, chick. You're on your own. We have our finances separate. I heard that they said for better, for worse, in sickness and in health. I bet, by God, when he has the flu, he wants you to make him soup.
Yeah.
So this is the core of it. You don't have a $20,000 credit card problem. You have a very serious issue in your relationship. And you guys have walked along. You've walked through the forest with your hands over your ears, going la 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 la, acting like nothing happened until something happened. And now the situation that you're in is revealing how terrible your theory on handling money is.
Mm-hmm.
So the two of you need to sit down together and rethink your marriage, and say, we're going to love each other in sickness and in health. We're going to love each other for richer, for poorer. We are mommy and daddy. We are husband and wife. We take care of each other. It's us against everybody else. You're not on your own. This is not a joint venture. It's not a partnership. And so you've really got to rethink your theories on relationships, because they're broken and they're wrong. And it's caused you to be in this situation where your soul is unraveling. I can hear the fear and even almost a sense of shame in your voice, and you didn't do anything wrong other than as a couple, you've run up this debt. So if someone had abandoned my daughter while she's in postpartum to her own devices, who was supposed to be her husband, who was supposed to love her and care for her, he and I would probably be having a discussion about that, and it wouldn't be pleasant. Because it's not fair and it's not right. The way you're being treated is wrong, hon. And I'm begging you to no longer accept that as okay. So, because instantly when I take a $200,000 income, I can clean up $100,000 worth of car debt and credit card debt when we're working together in a unified front. How fast can we pay off $100,000, George? Making $200,000.
12 to 18 months max.
Yeah.
This thing's gone.
You can be 100% debt free. And yet we have service people serving warrants at your door, and you have a baby. And there's no excuse. There's no reason. You're not broke. Y'all are just broken.
It's just to see my wife drowning emotionally with postpartum, financially, with lawyers at the door, and I go, well, it's her dad, it's her problem. I'm
Here,
not a
wait a
man.
minute, honey, they're here to see you.
What kind of man does that? I don't know if I can call him a man.
Yeah,
that feels generous.
There we go.
Whew.
There we go. So, it's a crisis, folks. It's a problem. I'm sorry, hon. We love you. We love him, but we're ready to box his ears right now. That's an old Southern term. But anyway, not even sure what it means, but somebody's getting ready to get hit in the ear, I guess. But anyway, my mama used to say, I'm going to box your ears. What the crap does that even mean? I don't even know what that means.
Adding that to my Dave one-liners.
I had my ears threatened to be boxed several times.
I'm still trying to figure out he couldn't find his butt with both hands. You never explained that one to me.
Well, that's
it's like Southern riddles. I got to figure out.
It means you're pretty limited on your abilities. What that means.
That explains it. It explains itself.
Oh, Effie, I'm sorry, hon. But you guys really, you understand the math in your situation is easy. It's a hot knife through butter. You can fix this very quickly when you fix the reason that it's caused. What caused it? The problem, the people showing up at your door are not the problem. They're the symptom. And I would even go so far as to be so bold as to say it has contributed to your postpartum, your depression. And so it certainly didn't make it easier, at a minimum. No question about it. This sense of abandonment, and you're on your own. No, it's not how this works. So if you guys want our help, we would be honored for you to go through our classes. I'll put you on hold. And if you want to sign up, I kind of don't think your husband wants to sign up with anything with me right now after I just finished with him. But I'm okay with that too. Pissing people off is like one of my spiritual gifts. Because, folks, I love you. And we're going to do one thing around here. We're going to love you enough to tell you the truth. This is The Ramsey Show.
Hey, what are you still doing here? You know the rest of the show's happening on the Ramsey Network app, right? So you got to jump over there to continue watching. You can download it for free. Just go to your app store, type in Ramsey Network. It's completely free, and I'll drop a link in the show notes to make it easy for you. So if you're watching on the app, you're in luck. But if you're watching anywhere else, this show is over for you. So jump onto the app and let the fun continue. All right. Go on now. Don't make it weird. Okay, I got nowhere to go, so you need to go. Okay, bye-bye now. All right, it's getting weird over there, guys. What do we do?